Hi, all. Let's talk about the 2025 Golden Globe ceremony, which will be happening January 5th. It is coming up soon. Typically, I do not talk about the Golden Globes. However, I've been thinking about it more. And while I don't necessarily believe it's a great parameter for prognostication, I do believe it does set narratives. And this can be a moment for a star for the first time to really just give a great speech or get up there and really impress people and wow the room. So I think the Golden Globes is important in the sense of publicity. And I think that's what we need to talk about. So I've actually decided to devote a little bit more time. I'm going through the entire Golden Globes. Each by category, we're going to be picking winners. We're going to be looking at trends. I'll have some fun trivia for you guys on the way. Sharon, let's get into these categories. So real quick, I am going to share my screen right now in 3, 2, 1. Sharing screen right now. So as you can see right here, we have the categories and I have my own notes that I'm sharing on my iPad. I'll be kind of going through these at a time, but the first category we have is best performance by an actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. Last year, the winner for this category was Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer. And one of the things that I talked about predictability is this: over the past 10 years, when has this category at the Golden Globes actually predicted the Oscar? So for the past 10 years, so this is from the Birdman Oscars to the Oppenheimer Oscars, this is the predictability. So it's been correct 7 out of 10 times. 7 actors who won the supporting role in any motion picture ended up going on to win the Oscar. So that's a 70% ratio. So in that meantime, there are 3 names. Try guessing who those 3 names are. We'll get to them in a second. But I actually just kind of want to go through the list real quick and look at our nominees for this year. We have Denzel Washington, Gladiator 2, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Yura Borislav for Anora. So let me just kind of go through the names that I think have a potential. So I'm going to highlight the ones that I think have a potential, and I'm going to highlight them in yellow. I think Denzel has a chance because he's Denzel. I think Kieran Culkin has a real chance. And I think Guy Pearce has a real chance. Those are the 3 that I'm leaning towards right now. I don't think the other ones are going to get in. Out of those, I am going to say my guess who will win is I think it's going to be Kieran Culkin. That would be my biggest guess, is I think Kieran Culkin is going to end up taking this award. He won last year for Succession, a TV show. To see him make that leap, I think will be exciting for people. And before we actually get to the answers of this trivia question, the 3 actors who won the Golden Globe and didn't go on to win the Oscar, I just want to say, throw it down in the comments below. That way we can see and actually audit what you got correct. But let me reveal those first names. So the first time this happened was, and oopsie, I didn't erase enough. It was in 2021 for Cody Smith McPhee for Power of the Dog. This obviously ended up going to Troy Koster for Coda that year. So that was the first miss. The next miss was, and I don't know why he keeps doing this, Aaron Taylor Johnson for Nocturnal Animals. This was one that I did not remember happening. I cannot believe Aaron Taylor Johnson won for Nocturnal Animals. This ended up being the Oscar, which 2016 Oscars. Oh, duh. This is Mahershala Ali from Moonlight. And then our last name, 2015 Sly Stallone, who obviously a lot of people thought was going to win that year's Oscar. So those are the 3. Out of the 10, these are the 3 who won the Golden Globe, didn't go on to win the Oscar. So let's now jump into the category of best performance by a female actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. Last year, the winner was Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. And before we start talking about it, let's also get into the predictability of this. This has a 70% predictability percentage. 3, like the best supporting actor, did not go on to win. So try guessing those names and throw it in the comments below. But let's talk about this year. Best performance by a female actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. We have Ariana Grande, Wicked, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini, Conclave, Margaret Qualley, The Substance, Selena Gomez, Emilia Perez, Zoe Saldana, Emilia Perez. I'm going to highlight a few in red. I just don't think Felicity Jones is going to win, and I don't think Isabella Rossellini is going to win. And I'm pretty skeptical of the belief of Margaret Qualley winning for The Substance. Now we're kind of left with the two pop stars and Zoe Saldana. Personally, I kind of think this category is a wrap at this point. She may even go on to win it. I am predicting Ariana Grande to go all the way and not only win the Golden Globes, but I also think to win the Oscar. She is the front runner. I think Zoe Saldana is the only real one who can challenge her. But that's my prediction right now. And then let's look at those categories. So the three actresses, let's see if I can remember this. I don't actually remember it off the top of my head. Sorry about this. It wasn't erasing as easily as it was this morning. Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. This Oscar ended up going to Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Then we have Jodie Foster for a movie I have quite literally never heard of. When I saw this pop up on Wikipedia, I'm like, Jodie Foster won for what movie for Best Supporting Actress? The Mauritania? This is 2020. This is COVID. This is just so far out of my lane. And then 2015, Kate Winslet wins for Steve Jobs. And I should just mention 2020, this went to the Minari actress. And in 2015, this ended up going to, I think this is the Alicia Vikander year for The Danish Girl. So those were the three misses. Now, I will admit, we're getting into television right now. We have the best performance by a female actor in a supporting role on television. I will fully have to admit, I am not particularly familiar with TV. I'm not someone who watches and consumes a bunch of TV. However, I do keep up with some of the narratives. I do hear about a bunch of these shows. And I think predicting isn't that hard. Like, you kind of see the trends. You kind of see the names that are going through. There is Allison Janney for The Diplomat. There is Dakota Fanning for Ripley. There is Hannah Einbinder for Hacks. There is Jessica Gunning for Baby Reindeer. There is Kaylee Reese for The True Detective Night Country. And then there is Lisa Colin Zayas for The Bear. I would assume, yikes, this one's like where I said like there's no clear winners. I think Baby Reindeer is having the best showing from anything that I've seen. It's certainly one of the more buzzier ones. I was kind of wondering if Dakota Fanning can win it for Ripley. I'm just going to go Baby Reindeer here just because I know it's going to be a very noisy TV show / I think it's technically a mini series for this year's Emmy. Last year's winner was Elizabeth Debicki for The Crown. Now we have Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role on Television. This one's actually a pretty stacked category. You have Diego Luna for La Maquina. You have Ibn Mas Batran, who will be the new Thing in the Fantastic Four movie. You have him for The Bear. You have Harrison Ford for Shrinking. You have Jack Lowden for Slow Horses. You have Javier Bardem for Monsters, The Lyle and Eric Mendoza Story. And then you have Tadano Osano for Shogun. Now, this is the weird thing, because if this was the old Golden Globes, I'd say you give it to Harrison Ford just to get him to show up. Possibly show up, I should say. I think Shogun has a chance in this category. I don't know. I'm kind of still leaning towards the old sensibilities of the Golden Globe and just saying, hey, if you have Harrison Ford there and you can reward him, you should reward him. I know Javier Bardem, I think, is actually a real one as well. I don't know. I'm going to lean Harrison Ford Shrinking. That's just my gut reaction. I should mention I've watched none of these shows. 2024, the winner was Matthew McFadden for Succession. And the reason I'm being pretty quick on these categories is just straight up, I've made it pretty clear on this channel. I don't watch a bunch of TV. I listen to some of the prognostics of it. I listen to some of the TV podcasts just to kind of be aware of the TV landscape. And I follow the Emmys race to a degree, and I read a bunch of the articles that are coming out, whether it's from Variety. I read the trade, so I'm vaguely familiar what's popular, what's not, what some people are predicting. And I know Harrison Ford was high on a few people's lists. That's why I'm going Harrison Ford. I just think the star power of it. This is a useless category, but we'll talk about it anyway. This is the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement 2024. Last year's ceremony, the winner was Barbie. I kind of think this is just the easiest thing that we don't even need to spend any more time on. This is going to be Wicked. There's a few other ones that I guess I wouldn't be necessarily shocked in. I guess if Deadpool and Wolverine, Inside Out 2, Gladiator 2, I guess even The Wild Robot, Alien Romulus, Beetlejuice, Twisters, they're not winning it. This is Wicked's kind of done, and we're over with that category. Jumping into the next category, We have Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Limited Series, Anthology Series, or Motion Picture Made for Television. Cate Blanchett for Disclaimer, Kristen Milotti for The Penguin, Jodie Foster for True Detective Night Country, Kate Winslet for The Regime, Naomi Watts for Feud, and Sofia Vergara for Griselda. I have heard a lot of people are just saying this is going to be Jodie Foster's Golden Globe for True Detective, and it may be true. I am going to advocate for someone who I think did incredible work on TV this year that I am actually familiar with. I am going to advocate for Kristen Milotti here for The Penguin. I also thought about Sofia Vergara. I think that smart money would be Jodie Foster, and she certainly won a lot with the Golden Globes. She's very popular with the Golden Globes. I don't know. This is the one category where I could see there being a surprise and someone really gaining some steam. So I'm putting Kristen here. Ali Wong won last year for Beef. We have Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Limited Series, Anthology Series, or Motion Picture Made for Television. Last year, the winner was Stephen Yeun for Beef. This year, we have the nominees of Andrew Scott for Ripley, Colin Farrell for The Penguin, Cooper Koch for Monsters, The Lyle, and Eric Mendoza Story, Ewan McGregor for A Gentleman in Moscow, Kevin Kline for Disclaimer, and Richard Gadd for Baby Reindeer. I think this one's also kind of a simple one. There's a lot of acclaim for this performance. There's a lot of excitement for it. I think it's Andrew Scott for Ripley. I believe that was a Netflix show. So that one's pretty easy for me. This one, I saw some people divided on this, and I kind of thought this was a no-brainer. This was like one where I saw it and I'm like, oh, written off. It is Best Performance in a Stand-Up Comedy on Television. We have Adam Sandler for Love You, Ali Wong for Single Lady, Jamie Foxx for What Had Happened Was, Nikki Glaser for Someday You'll Die, Rami Youssef for More Feelings, and Seth Meyers' Dad Man Walking. Last year, the winner was Ricky Gervais, Armageddon. I thought this was easy. I had seen a lot of people predicting Nikki Glaser would win, and I guess it makes sense because she's the host of this year's ceremony. I just don't think that's the case. Jamie Foxx, almost died last year, or I guess at the end of 2023, quite literally almost died, and he's able to make something quite uniquely interesting, quite artistic, quite funny, quite impressive, just really all around with Jamie Foxx, what had happened was. And I think it's a celebration of Jamie Foxx and the life that he's lived and the life that he got to continue living, and a celebration really of just life. I think this would be a really great moment to see Jamie Foxx take the stage. So I am predicting Jamie Foxx, what had happened was, as my official nominee. Best Motion Animated, we have Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Moana 2, The Wild Robot, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. I should just say predictability rate for this is 80%. So out of the past 10 years, 8 of them went on to win the Oscar. Last year, the winner was The Boy and the Heron. I think this is as simple as let's just kind of get rid of some of the bad, because I think this is ultimately what the best animated picture is going to look like for the Oscars without Moana. I think everything else, I think these are the 5 other ones. Out of them that will win, I think there is a chance for Flow, and I think there is a chance for The Wild Robot, and I think there is a slight chance for Inside Out 2. To me, the race is either between Flow or The Wild Robot. I am personally leaning towards, out of the 2 films, I like The Wild Robot the more. I kind of think this could be a year where the indie sensation kind of gets in with Flow, and it's a pretty artistically well-realized movie. And this is an international voting body. I think I'm going to go Flow. I'm not positive if this is the right call, but I think I'm going to go Flow, even though I preferred The Wild Robot. So just the 2 winners that you guys may have not guessed, again, throw it down before I reveal it in the comments. 2019, this one was crazy to me. The Wild Link, Toy Story 4 ends up winning this Oscar. This was insane to me. I did not remember The Wild Link winning. I think The Wild Link ended up making it into the Oscar race, but I don't remember. And then finally, How to Train Your Dragon, and this is actually supposed to say Chew. This is How to Train Your Dragon Chew. Big Hero 6 ended up winning this year's Oscar. So let me know if you got those right. I think The Wild Link is going to throw a lot of you for a curveball. Best Motion Picture, Non-English Language. We have the nominees. And I should just say, last year's winner was Anatomy of a Fall. Predictability, 40%. They've only got it right 4 out of the 10 times. And this one's a really weird one because of the rules with the International Academy within the Academy Awards. There's so much stuff that can go weird with these categories. Some films submit, some films don't. Some films can't submit one film and then they submit another for the Oscar. There's just so much that could go weird with this category. Uh, and I think in the Golden Globe, you can kind of have multiple films representing one country. I'm not sure, but I mean, I see right here you have France, and France for Seed of Sacred Fig, Amelia Perez, and All We Imagine as Light. With this said, I kind of think this is as obvious as possible. I think this is Amelia Perez. I guess The Seed of a Sacred Fig. I guess I'm still here. I guess All We Imagine and Slice could compete. I just kind of think this is Amelia Perez ended up being the most nominated film at this year's Academy Awards. Or, sorry, at this year's Golden Globes. I think it's as easy as this. 40%. Let me know if any of you got any of these 6 right. Some of them I knew. 2024, obviously I knew Anatomy of a Fall ended up losing to The Zone of Interest. I did remember that. 2023, I did not remember Argentina 1985 ended up winning the Golden Globe. And I'm trying to remember what won that year. Oh, All Quiet on the Western Front won that year. Let's go next. Another Round ended up winning. And in this category, I am blanking on what won in the actual Oscar. Someone will have to remind me in the comments below. Was it Minari international? I don't remember if Minari was considered international. 2017, A Fantastic Woman. 2016, Elle. And then finally, this one I had no recollection of. Levatha won for 2014. So those are your 6 right here. So, like I said, international picture does not necessarily correspond to a Best Picture Oscar. And I just got to make sure my camera is still on. Is it turned off? Yeah, we're still running. But so anyway, that's the category for international feature. Let's move on to the next category. Best performance by an actor in a television series, musical, or comedy. We have last year's winner was Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. This year's nominees, you got Adam Brody for Nobody Wants This, Jason Segel for Shrinking, Jeremy Allen White for The Bear, Martin Short for Only Murderers in the Building, Steve Martin for Only Murderers in the Building, Ted Danson for A Man on the Inside. I kind of think this is also the case of they're just going to repeat it and The Bear is going to win it, even though people still have an issue with The Bear being deemed a comedy. Voting bodies still call it a comedy, and I think The Bear will continue to find success in that. Best performance by a female actor in a television series, musical, or comedy. Last year, Adebiri? Ayo Edebari? I always forget how to pronounce her name for The Bear. I think she's going to repeat it again and win this year for The Bear. I kind of think The Bear is going to sweep the comedy categories. I thought Jean Smart could win in this category, but I still think it's going to be The Bear. Best performance by a female actor in a television series. Last year's winner was Sarah Snook for Succession. This year we have Anna Sawai for Shogun, Emma Darcy for House of the Dragon, Kathy Bates for Matlock, Keira Knightley for Black Doves, Kerry Russell for The Diplomat, and then Maya Erskine for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. There's a weird part of me that just wants to go the celebrity answer and go Kathy Bates. I am going to just go with the fact that Shogun seems to be the popular show, and Shogun's probably going to end up going on to win it. And I also just, again, not being able to really speak on any of these categories, I'm just going to default Shogun. Best performance by an actor in a television series drama, Billy Bob Thornton for Landman, Donald Glover for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Eddie Redmayne for The Day of the Jackal, Gary Oldman for Slow Horses, Hiroyuki Sanada for Shogun, and then Jake Gyllenhaal for Presumed Innocence. I think this one's actually a pretty clear Shogun win here. Last year, the winner was Kieran Culkin for Succession. Best original score, motion pictures. Thank God we're back in the movies, because this is more of my comfort zone. This year, we have Amelia Perez, The Brutalists, Dune Part 2, The Wild Robot, Challengers, and Conclave. Now, I was in the belief that Challengers, of all these, is the best score that I've heard. The issue is I still haven't heard the Brutalist score. And I know the Brutalist score is pretty widely acclaimed. And it kind of feels like this is the one that's going to win. I kind of think it's the Brutalist to win. But there is an argument. Like I said, I think Challengers is my favorite. I don't think the Dune Part 2 score is all that original. I kind of find it semi-repetitive of Dune. I guess Amelia Perez could get in because it's musical, but I don't know. This is the one where I'm just going to go the Brutalist. Ludwig Göransson won last year for Oppenheimer. Best Original Song, Motion Picture. This is a dreadful category. You got Beautiful This Way from The Last Shogun. Sorry. Beautiful This Way from The Last Showgirl, Miley Cyrus. Compress Repress from Challengers. You have El Ma from Amelia Perez. Forbidden Road from Better Man, which ended up, if I'm correct, got disqualified from the Oscars race. Kiss the Sky from The Wild Robot. And Mi Camino from Amelia Perez. I'm seeing the trend being that it's probably going to be one of the two Amelia Perez songs, with The Wild Robot being a possibility. I didn't like any of the Amelia Perez songs that much, to be fully candid. Some of them aren't bad. So I guess in that response, I'm going to say Mi Camino was the best of them. But this is a weak category, and I'm dreading seeing this race at this year's Academy Awards, especially since we're not even going to be treated with a Miley Cyrus musical act, because she's not even eligible for this year's category. So last year's winner, Billie Eilish, for What Was I Made For from Barbie. Best Screenplay, Motion Picture. And I just want to say how I did this was I took all of the winners of this category for the Golden Globes and who went on to win in either original and adapted screenplay. Here's something that's going to be quite shocking. 9 out of the 10 past winners, they were original screenplays. So the Golden Globes definitely supports original screenplays. Last year, the winner was an original screenplay, Anatomy of a Fall, Justine Triet. So let's talk about this. This year, and let's me just kind of take notes as we're doing it. The Brutalist, which is an original screenplay. The Substance, which is an original screenplay. Amelia Perez, which is an adapted screenplay. A Real Pain, which written by Jesse Eisenberg, an original screenplay. Peter Strahan, Conclave, adapted screenplay. And Sean Baker and Anora, original screenplay. I think the winner is going to be... I'm between Jesse Eisenberg or Sean Baker. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like, is Jesse going to win it, or is it going to be Sean Baker? I am leaning towards Anora winning this category. I think Sean Baker will end up winning for Anora, but I'm not positive. 40% predictability. Let's see where they've gone wrong. So what are the 6? I'm just going to kind of reveal them all. 2022, you had the Banshees of Inisherin winning, which was also an original screenplay. This year, Everything Everywhere All at Once ended up winning the original screenplay. Trial of Chicago 7, also an original screenplay, loses to an original screenplay in Promising Young Women. 2019, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, an original screenplay, loses out to Parasite. 2017, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, ends up losing out to Jordan Peele and Get Out. 2016, La La Land ends up losing... Is this a Moonlight win? Or did I write this down wrong? Did La La Land not win original screenplay? It must have been Moonlight in that case. Oh, no, this is Manchester by the Sea wins this, I'm pretty sure. 2015, Steve Jobs, which is the adapted screenplay. This is the sole adapted screenplay that's won in the past 10 years. And I'm trying to remember what wins adapted screenplay this year. I don't remember. I don't think Spotlight was an adapted screenplay. No, maybe it's The Big Short. Maybe The Big Short. Actually, I'm pretty sure The Big Short wins the adapted screenplay in 2015. Might have that wrong, let me know. Best Direction, Motion Picture, 70% predictability. Last year's winner was Christopher Nolan for the film Oppenheimer. This year we have Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, Coralie Farge for The Substance, Edward Berger for Conclave, Audiard for Amelia Perez, Pio Capadia for All We Imagine Is Light, and then Sean Baker for Anora. I really don't know with this category. I think the Big Bold Brand Vision favors The Brutalist, and I think Sean Baker, Anora is the other one. And I still don't feel great about that. Like, you could tell me Farge gets in there for the creativity. You could tell me Audiard gets in. I really don't know. I am currently leaning to favor the bigness and epicness that is The Brutalist. So that's my prediction. I think The Brutalist will do well and get the director. 70%, who were the three that were wrong? Again, let me know in the comments before I reveal it. But let's see. The first one, Steven Spielberg, The Fablemans, ends up losing to the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once. 2019, Sam Mendes ends up losing for 1917. He ends up losing to Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. And then do I remember the last one off the top of my head? Yes, I do. Richard Linklater wins the 2014, and the Oscar ends up going to Inarritu. Yep, those are the three. Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Last year's winner was Emma Stone for Poor Things. And then best performance by a female actor in a motion picture drama. I'm going to do these categories at the same time because I actually think they can be quite related. The reason I wanted to talk about it is because there's a predictability of 80%. One of the actresses in either of these categories each year ended up winning the Oscar. It only hasn't happened twice. The drama to comedy ratio I thought was really interesting, especially when we get to the men's in a second. 4 of these who ended up becoming winners for the Oscars were seen as a drama, and then the other 4 were seen as a comedy musical. Remember that 4-4 in a second when we talk about the best actor. But last year's winner for the 2024 award show, Emma Stone for Poor Things. This year we got Amy Adams for Night Bitch, Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Demi Moore for The Substance, Carlos Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison for Anora, Zendaya Challengers. This is tough. I actually think there was a few ways they could go. I think Demi Moore is a real possibility, and I think Mikey Madison is a real possibility, and I think Carlos Sofia Gascon is a real possibility. I don't think the other 3 are real. In fact, I'm actually going to be mean since I put her on my worst of list. Amy Adams is not a possibility. I don't even like that performance that much. My heart wants to say Demi Moore. My brain is telling me Mikey Madison. I've gone with my heart a lot that I'm going to go with my brain. But like, this is the Golden Globes. Like, what if they went like this instead? Demi Moore. But, I mean, this is more logical. This one I'm at a tear. This is one that I have no clue. I'm going to have to speak out my rational logic in a second. Demi Moore, Hollywood actress, beloved, comeback. Mikey Madison, new young star of a film that may end up winning Best Picture. There's a comeback narrative, though, with Demi Moore. This could be the beginning of something. I'm going to go Demi Moore, and I have a feeling she could give a great speech, and this could really start pushing her to really win the Oscar. I mean, this is my heart going with it. Mikey Madison's probably the smart money. You got to pick sometimes what you want to see happen. So I'm manifesting that in the hope that that happens. Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture drama, Angelina Jolie for Maria, Fernando Torres for I'm Still Here, Kate Winslet for Lee, Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl, Pamela Anderson, The Last Showgirl, and Tilda Swinton, The Room Next Door. I don't know. There's compelling cases for all 6 of these. You have Angelina Jolie, who just got finished with the divorce. There's a lot of love for her. Fernando Torres, I've heard, is brilliant, and I'm Still Here. Could get an international boost. Kate Winslet's Kate Winslet, Nicole Kidman's Nicole Kidman, Tilda Swinton's Tilda Swinton. And then Pamela Anderson has this kind of great narrative story. My gut, the Angelina Jolie thing just seems rough because I know there's a lot of people who still are going to be in very much support of Brad Pitt. And my gut is telling me Nicole Kidman. But even that I don't love. But it's Nicole Kidman. God, I really don't know. I am going to lean in favor. But she's so good in Baby Girl, which was a film I didn't like. Or I liked but didn't love. And that's kind of the same case in Angelina Jolie, who I thought was mesmerizing in Maria, which was a film that I thought good, not great. Oh, God. Last year, the winner, Lily Gladstone. That wouldn't... Do I go with that? Do I just say Angelina Jolie because she's more likely to get the Oscar nom? Gosh, this is a tough one. This is probably the hardest one that I've had to pick right now. Kidman or Jolie? Or is there anyone else I can make the compelling argument for? Kidman's kind of funny in that movie that I would almost leave her the comedy. I'm going to stick Angelina Jolie. That's my gut reaction. Lily Gladstone won last year for Killers of the Flower Moon. 80% predictability. Let's see the two that didn't get it. 2021, Nicole Kidman won for Being the Ricardos. Rachel Zegler won for West Side Story. Jessica Chastain ends up winning the Oscar for Eyes of Tammy Faye. And then the other one, Andrea Day for The People versus Billie Holiday wins. And then Rosamund Pike wins for I Care a Lot. The winner for this year's Oscar ended up being Frances McDormand for Nomadland. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Last year's winner was Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers. And then best performance by a male actor in a motion picture drama. Last year's winner was Cillian Murphy. Predictability, 80%. Get ready for that. So out of the 8 that ended up going on to win the Oscar, all 8 of them have been in the drama category. Not a single comedy / musical ended up winning that. So I have 2 trivia questions for you. I have, who are those 2 who were not the ones who ended up going on to win the Oscar despite winning the Golden Globes? And then only twice has an actor who won in Best Actor for comedy / musical gone on to win the actor. Who are those 2 actors? And I should specify, only twice has an actor who won in a Best Actor for a comedy musical. This is in the 21st century. This should read, just so we're clear, 21st century. Who are those 2 actors? So we'll get back to those in a second. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. We have Gabriel LaBelle for Saturday Night Live. We have Glenn Powell for Hitman. We have Hugh Grant for Heretic. We got Jesse Eisenberg for Real Pain. Jesse Plemons for Kindness. Sebastian Stan for A Different Man. I am between Glenn Powell in Hitman, Hugh Grant in Heretic, and Jesse Eisenberg for Real Pain. I want to kind of just go this kind of feels like a classic Glenn Powell's movie star moment. But Hugh Grant also kind of makes sense. And Eisenberg, Real Pain, kind of the star of that movie. I am going to go with the flashiest of these performances, and maybe the one that I want to have. I don't know if I want it. I'm either between Heretic or Hitman. I am going to go. Sorry, I'm thinking. I am going to go. Let's go. No, I don't. I've been picking too much with my heart. Let's do Hugh Grant for Heretic. Last year's winner was 2024, Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, drama. Last year's winner, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. This year's nominees, Adrian Brody, The Blue List, Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing, Daniel Craig, Queer, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, the easiest green, the easiest lock of all time, and I have a feeling he's going to go on to win the Oscar, Timothée Chalamet for playing Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown. Who were the 2, you may ask? Do I remember them off the top of my head? I think Denzel Washington for Fences is one of them. That would be my guess. And then who would the other one be? Oh, Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and ended up losing to Hopkins. Oh, I forgot about this. So for those who do not remember, 2022, Colin Farrell ended up winning for The Banshees of Inisherin, Austin Butler for Elvis. Brendan Fraser isn't even nominated for the Golden Globes because of the allegations that he made that he was sexually harassed / assaulted by a member of the Golden Globes. I forgot exactly if he was a high-ranking member or if he was just one of the voters. I don't remember exactly the situation. This is such a bizarre situation because in this case, Fraser wasn't even nominated. He said he would not go to this award ceremony. That means I'm positive on the second one being Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Yeah. Chadwick Boseman wins for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Sacha Baron Cohen wins for Borat's subsequent movie film. Ends up being Anthony Hopkins at this year's Oscars. Only twice has an actor who won in Best Actor for a comedy and musical gone on to win the actor who are the 2 actors. Again, this is a 21st century question. We only looked up into 2024, back all the way to 2000. who are the true actors? You have Jean Dujardin. I always forget to pronounce his name because honestly, he did not stick around for The Artist. And then 2004, Jamie Foxx, Ray. Let's jump back in. These are the big awards. Best Television, Limited Series, Anthology Series, or Motion Picture Made for Television. Last year's winner was Beef. This year, I think, is pretty easy. I think it's Baby Reindeer in a landslide. Maybe True Detective Night Country. Best Television Series, Musical, or Comedy. Last year's winner was The Bear. I thought about saying Abbott Elementary because I think this is consistently the funniest of these shows. But again, I'm just going to go with The Bear until the Emmy stops going with The Bear. Best Television Series Drama. We have The Diplomat, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Shogun, Slow Horses, Squid Game, The Day of the Jackal. Last year's winner was Succession. This year's winner will be Shogun. And then Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, Back into the Movies. Last year's winner was Poor Things. This year we have the nominations of A Real Pain, Anora, Challengers, Amelia Perez, The Substance, Wicked. I should just note, that was kind of a jerk thing of me. I don't think I read any of these, so you can see them real quick. Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, Nobody Wants This, Only Murderers in the Building, The Gentleman, Drama, The Diplomat, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Shogun, Slow Horses, Squid Game, The Day of the Jackal. So back to the musical or comedy, Real Pain, Anora, Challengers, Amelia Perez, The Substance, Wicked. I think this is Anora, even though there might be enough to suggest that Amelia Perez will do well in here. I'm going to stick with Anora because I think it's still the front runner to win the Oscar. Best Motion Picture Drama. Last year's winner was Oppenheimer. This year we have A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nickel Boy, September 5, and The Brutalist. I think this is also the case of it's the film that has the best chance of winning, and I think that's The Brutalist. September 5 is on the bubble to get a nomination. I think same with Nickel Boys. I think Complete Unknown is probably going to get the Oscar nomination. But those are three films that I'm questionable on. Conclave could perform well in this category. I don't think Dune Part 2 will. So Conclave would be my alternative for The Brutalist, but I'm just going to give it to The Brutalist. And then what do we have here? These are films that didn't. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess. Let's see, what do I have here? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is what it is. So of these, musical or comedy or drama, the winners of both of these categories ended up not going on to win the Oscar. So I guess it has a 40% ratio. I forgot to write down the notes here. 2022, The Fabelmans and The Banshees of Inisherin wins. Everything Everywhere All at Once ends up going on to win. 2021, The Power of the Dog, West Side Story, Coda ends up going on to win. 2019's 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood ends up going on to win. Parasite ends up going on to win. 2017, Three Billboards and Lady Bird. This year is The Shape of Water. I have a feeling 2016, is it Manchester by the Sea and La La Land? Nope, it's 2015, The Revenant and The Martian. Spotlight ends up winning. And then 2014, I'm going to say Boyhood and The Grand Budapest Hotel with Birdman ended up going to win the Oscar. Yep, Hotel. I saw it right there, sorry. Yep, Boyhood in The Grand Budapest Hotel. So those are this year's nominations. So let's stop this broadcast and let's go back to me. So that's what I have predicted for the Golden Globes. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this. I was just trying out a format. I wanted to see how it would work. I wanted to see if people would like it. So let me know if you responded to that. I may not do it again. It was kind of a lot of prep on my side, but I also kind of thought it fun and a little bit more interactive for you guys. But again, just let me know. So that's my predictions. Let me know what I got right. Let me know what I got wrong. I'll end up doing a breakdown of the winners either Monday or Tuesday. So thank you all so much for watching this video. And if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more. My name is Ben Friedman. We'll be back soon with a review of Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Helps me out a ton.